Welcome everyone to another episode of Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. I'm your host, Lionel McDonald. So once again, we have brought back one of our favorite guests. Karen, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So for those that don't, Karen Leroux, otherwise known as Kayinsnkrland, blessed our podcast way back in, I guess it was late 2021, the episode was a rousing success. Lots of great feedback on that episode. So Karen and I have been talking about it for a while, and we definitely needed to get her back on the podcast, and obviously scheduling and a variety of other things. But here she is. So welcome back, Karen. So really love to hear, how are things going? I know it's just slowly finally coming out of winter, although the weather isn't as warm as we would like, at least how it was last week during March break. But what's kind of the sneaker rotation in the wintertime? What does that winter rotation look like?
Oh man. So in the winter, I have a pair of, winterized Nikes that I wear to and from and wherever I need to go, and then just, carry a pair in a sneaker bag with me just
Yes.
they don't get ruined, right? It's slushy, it's snowy, and you don't want to ruin your shoes because it's not fun to clean them after a while.
No. And you're worried that they're beyond cleaning. So you have to be very careful of those ones you wear.
You do. And I imagine the salt cannot be kind to shoes.
It is definitely not. So, all right. So, I think the last time we were talking, we were talking about how you've tried to integrate sneakers into your wardrobe that you wear at work. So I know you were really pushing the envelope in some of those areas. How has it gone? I know you've recently just mentioned that you've gone back to the office. So what do the fits look like? Is your boss giving you grief? He asked you to dial it back, or you're full speed ahead?
No, I'm full speed ahead. There's been no questions, or there's been no comments about dialing it back. There's been nothing but admiration and a lot of questions of, those are really cool. Where did you get them? Or how did you get them? Or, and it's, questions about, well, where do you get your sneakers from? Or how do you source them? And how many do you have? And it's like, honestly, I don't know. I lost track. I can't answer that question. It raises some eyebrows, but I'm just like, rest assured, everything is taken care of.
Fair enough.
It's just a hobby that I have, and it's a collection that grows over time.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that people can be super passionate about, or I wouldn't say that you're addicted, but hey, some people do have a sneaker addiction, and this is a good one. This is a lot of fun. This has value that's attached to it, and this is something that you can be proudly you're able to showcase. So
absolutely. And now that I've reached a point in my collection, I've been trying to be more selective with what I purchase, just being more mindful of, well, what is missing, what do I need to expand on? So rather than just trying to get whatever the latest and greatest is coming out, I've just been trying to focus more on what am I missing, what do I really want, what do I really need, and just go from there.
Yeah, you mentioned that the last time that you are very selective. You kind of go with not necessarily what the trend is, but what you particularly want. So what are some of those sneakers, I guess, as of late that have been added to the collection?
So I managed to get my hands on a pair of the Jordan 1 tie-dyes.
Ooh, I did see that. Very nice.
Yeah, so very excited for that because I missed out on them. I was very annoyed, very, very super annoyed, because it was at the height of everybody, of the bots and just everything selling within milliseconds of them dropping. So I was very annoyed and frustrated by that process. I also managed to secure a pair of the Jordan 1 Alili Mays Khalifas.
Okay.
That was a sneaker that I wanted, and again couldn't get because it was one that everybody wanted, and of course they dropped, and within milliseconds they were gone.
So what was the story? How did you get that one? I know that was one that was gone in the flash,
Yeah.
as you just said.
Yeah, I sourced it from a reseller site. The price was decent. So it wasn't like I was breaking the bank on them. I do have a limit where I will not go over a certain amount. But the import fees killed it.
Always does.
Always does. You know, I was expecting the duties and taxes. What I was not banking on were the broker fees.
Oh. It's like sneaker tax. That's what I used to call it for such a long time. It's like the one you don't even see coming.
No, you don't. And I didn't expect it until, you know, I got the bill from UPS, and I was like, why is this so much? So I phoned them and spoke to them, and they broke down the charges, and I was like, oh, okay. I get it. I see. Lesson learned. Yeah. I will not be doing that again.
Yeah. Well, you got a shoe that you really wanted. So sometimes those are worth it.
It is. And that shoe, I think, is classic. It will only, you know, increase in value. I think any of her shoes that she's come out with are well worth the money and are such a great investment piece in anybody's collection.
Yep, I agree. Totally agree. You know, I think every shoe that she's created is she's knocked it out of the park. So you're totally right on that.
Yeah. Like you cannot go wrong with any colorway that she's come out with, any design that she's come out with.
So I know you've kind of mentioned that kind of the online thing is still a thing in terms of how we get shoes nowadays. Is there any stories about, you know, shoes you've been able to actually get in Toronto and in person?
In person, I know there's a couple. And I'm just like drawing a blank. Oh, you know what? The pomegranates.
Oh, you got those. All right.
I got those. I was in the Power Store and I saw them and I was like, I need these. So I was able to get those in person. I was just by chance. I was in the store looking around and I saw them. I was like, do you have a 7 in these, please?
And sure enough, they had it for you. So good stuff.
They had a 7. Yeah.
So I know we haven't chatted in a while, but, you know, there's always seems to be, you know, a frenzy of sneaker releases that end up at the end of a year or so. You know, we haven't talked in a little bit now, but, you know, there were some Jordan 1s, whether there was the handcrafted or there's the patent leather Jordan 1 bread that came out. And that there's, you know, obviously some anticipated ones that there's been a 3 that's come out, there's been a 5 that's come out. So, you know, I guess from your perspective, what does that look like over the holiday season? You know, did you kind of strike out on some of those that you may have wanted or not interested in, or they weren't even in the budget because they didn't really catch your eye? They're not unique enough for you?
Yeah, the patent breads I couldn't get my hands on. I entered every raffle that I could find and just struck out on all of it. So it's fine. I did manage to get a pair of the Christmas Jordan ones.
Yep.
It's a theme shoe. I love them. They're so fun and festive. You know, I love Christmas. I'm about the season, and to be able to celebrate that through a sneaker is, I think, special. I'm just trying to think. I mean, a lot of releases were delayed. Yeah. Through, I guess, through supply demands. So, I mean, a lot didn't come out until January, February even.
Yeah, some stuff is still coming out in March.
Exactly. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, for sneakers that are coming up, I'm looking forward to the Neapolitans.
Yeah, that's a beautiful looking shoe.
Right? I'm so excited for it, but I also know because of how popular the 3s are, they're going, like, it's going to be almost impossible to get a pair. I'm aware of that.
Well, it's not a Jordan 1 though. That's the thing. Like, I think there's in a women's size, I think there's greater success in getting a 3 than there is, say, a Jordan 1, even a Jordan 4. Like I think you got a chance. You got to give yourself a little credit for this one. Fingers crossed.
I'm still gonna try. I'm
Okay.
still gonna try, because if you don't try, then you're definitely not gonna get them.
Yeah.
The other ones coming up there's a one coming out called, I think it's called Homeland, and it's based, I guess, off of Africa, and the colors, like, it's just different shades of pink, and the textures of this shoe are just impeccable. Like, it's a beautiful sneaker, and I'm so looking forward to that coming out. And then there's another multicolored one coming out that I'm also excited for, because it's very spring-like pastel colors. So, those are a few coming up. And then, of course, the Neapolitans. I know the canvas, the canvas fours or threes. I always get them mixed. Threes. Yeah. That's a really beautiful shoe as well. But I think that's just releasing in men's sizing.
I think so too. I don't know if there's a takedown in even in grade school sizing, but it definitely stands out. I don't think it's the nicest three. It's not the AMA 3 that we saw last year, but and that one I know that you have it. I've seen pictures of yours, and it's yes, absolutely gorgeous.
It's a beautiful shoe. I missed out on the ones. I couldn't get a one.
Yeah.
Not surprised. Not surprised. I will not. That shoe on a resale market is way out of my budget. Like, I can't.
No, you can't spend $1,000 on a pair of shoes. Like, you can. Listen, but
I'm not going to judge anybody.
I'm not recommending it at this point.
I'm not recommending it either. But listen, if this is something that you absolutely need and it's your grail, then you do what you need to do. But it's not something that I would do.
Yeah. Okay, totally makes sense. Yeah, I think from me, there's the AMA 2 that's coming out later this year. That one looks really nice. I think quality wise and just how they make their shoes, it's like a cut above anything else that's out there. So that would probably be by far and away the most anticipated shoe. But I would tell you that this year, in comparison to previous years, is a little bit of a drop off for me in terms of some of the things that are coming out. But rest assured, I know there will be a few surprises that comes out, because there always is, and it will change your mind. But if you're looking way further down the end of the line, I think finally to see the OG Chicago Jordan 2 to come back in return around Christmas time, and then the Chicago 1, which I have from a few years ago. I think it launched in 2012. But to have that back, like, that is going to be holiday time. And then we got Cherry 11s and some other things, but that will be like the most anticipated shoe, hands down across the board. So, okay, so I got another question. I know that, you think about sneaker spots and some of the places you visited. You talked about the Power Store. We got a Nike store in downtown Eaton Center, and then I think there's one of the exciting things that we've seen as of late is our good lady friends at Makeway now have not only a Nike account, but also a Jordan account. So there's been some buzz, some great ladies releases only, and they've only sold the ladies. So I think they're really trying to amplify the sneaker collection or the sneaker market overall, particularly for the ladies. Have you been at all to the store, and have you got a chance to see what they have in stock?
Yeah, so I love going to Makeway. You go in and you feel like, they just welcome you so warmly into the store, and, they actually take the time to talk to you, get to know you a little bit. And, the more you go, you become recognizable, and, you become like a friend to the store. Yeah. Right. They've had a few releases, and I appreciate how they do their releases. They do it by raffle. You have to go into the store. It's open to women and members of the LGBTQ plus community. So I find that, they're being inclusive, and they try to make the shoe available to, the the two communities where, you know, we may not have a greater chance to get a pair. You know, I recently went down for the Jordan 1 Rebellionaire raffle, because it was on a weekend where I could actually go down for it. And so you line up, you enter, and then like after everyone has entered in the cutoff time, you know, they'll pull the names, and I was not expecting for my name to be pulled, but they pulled my name, which was exciting.
Amazing.
I was
Absolutely.
so excited. And as a bonus, not only did you win the opportunity to purchase the shoe, but you could also get a free tattoo.
Okay, a tattoo on top of that. I haven't heard that
On
in a minute.
top of that as well. So they had reached out to 3 female tattoo artists within the city, which I thought was really cool. Because again, tattooing is more of like a male-dominated art form. You don't see many female artists out there, but there are out there, and I think, you know, they're just needing the recognition and the exposure that the male artists get. So they teamed up with 3 female artists within Toronto, and they had each done like a flash sheet design. And, you know, I went with this one artist, Humblebee Tattoo, I believe is her handle on Instagram. And her design spoke to me, and, you know, the one I chose was this one, which is like
all right, there it is. There is the tattoo. For those that are watching on YouTube, you can see the tattoo that Karen's got. So very nice. Well, what's the inspiration behind that one?
Honestly, like my tattoos, I pour so much time and thought and, you know, intention behind them, but this was just such like a spur of the moment decision where I was like, for whatever reason, it just spoke to me. Like it's a fine line tattoo design, and, you know, the one thing I like is that I can add to it over time if I want. So you know, it was more of my style, but I can also add to it and make it more personal over time. So
very nice. Very nice. So what would you say, how would you rate the experience that you got in that store?
Oh my gosh, like off the chart. Like they're so kind and they're so friendly, you know, they're just happy to talk to you and just make you feel like a friend that you've known for a very long time.
Yeah, I've been told that many times. I've actually bought a couple things for my wife in that store. And I know, like, actually someone that I used to work with a couple years ago, Ramona, that has her own line in the store. So she's cool and she works there, and I would tell you it's a great experience if you get a chance to shop there. So not trying to pump any tires of any one store in particular, but hey, I know they do a great job, and Abby and Shelby are very proud of the not only the store, but the culture that they're creating in that particular area. So
no, exactly. And, you know, while it was cold and windy that Saturday morning, you know, it was nice to just stand around with other women commiserating about how awfully cold and windy it was that day. You know, there was like that sense of community while we were waiting for them to draw the names. And then, you know, as they were drawing names, you know, just the support and the excitement for everybody who was there participating. It was just such a great energy to have on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, I think when I was having a conversation with a couple friends of mine, we were just talking sneakers, and I think that's one of the things that COVID is kind of put on pause or taken away from us is the sense of community in person. I think we can always have what we have in video, or we can have it online, or we can share pictures and stuff on Instagram, or watch the same YouTube videos and talk about it. But I think the in-person community and, you know, collector, sneakerhead to sneakerhead, really just talking about shoes that they love and what was the story behind this one. I think that is what's missing, and amazing that I got a chance to not only experience that, but you actually won the shoe. So
I know,
pretty amazing.
It was pretty amazing. It was, you know, there's no other way to describe it, but actually feeling like you were special.
Yeah.
Right. They went out of their way to make, for those who wanted to get a tattoo, they had arranged for a car service to drive you to and from.
That's amazing.
Make way to the studio, back to make way if you needed to get back, you know. So, you know, it was just a nice added touch to have this chauffeur take you to and from. So it was just an added experience, and it was great. It was absolutely great. I think, you know, to win a raffle, this was like the raffle to win.
Yep. All right. So I know, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I know they had other raffles where they were having other gifts with purchase. I think there was one release they had where they were giving away Tamagotchis for the shoe.
Got to do whatever works, right? So,
you know, but good on them.
Yeah, definitely. So I know that there's a few other sneaker spots that have popped up in the last few months. So, you know, I know sizes came to Toronto later, probably was summertime of 21, and now there's JD Sports that's now open in Fairview Mall, and then there's the Toronto Eaton Centre has gone to a total revamp of the Foot Locker banner ink banners that are around. So hey, we had this time last year we had Foot Action and we had Foot Locker in this tiny store. Foot Locker is now across the hallway in this unbelievable space now. And I would tell you that the women's space is second to none. And then now there is a much needed kids Foot Locker in that mall now. So have you actually been?
I've been, yeah. So I was able to go, I think it was the weekend before the grand opening.
Okay, gotcha.
Just to go in and check it out. And yeah, like the new Foot Locker location is really nice. Like it's big, it's spacious, it's, you know, I'm sure because it was before the grand opening, I'm sure there was like stock being withheld.
Yeah. There's always things that get sprinkled in. That's just the reality of how the game is played these days.
Exactly. But it was nice to go in and it was well laid out. Everything was like, the store was well lit. So there were no like dark like spots within the store. Sometimes that happens. But no, and like everything was very well displayed. The kids Foot Locker it was nice to have like a full store, you know, dedicated to just the kids section. Yeah. Essentially, you know, where it's more clothing and shoes, but more selection.
Yeah, I think in a mall that big, it needs a kids Foot Locker. So, you know, it definitely bodes well to what they've done and where they're going. Right. I think I was there today and space looked different from when I was there the opening day. I know I took my daughter down for our tradition. If I go to the mall, I cannot leave the mall without Kyinsnkrland for like that's like the deal. So we had Kyinsnkrland, we got to see the stores. She got to play basketball in the kids Foot Locker and she had a grand time. So you talk about experiences, it's all about the experience that you can cater to someone. So it really definitely worked for her. It's just like, I'll go back there anytime you want, Dad. So long as I get the Kyinsnkrland.
Exactly. It's all about the Kyinsnkrland. Listen, like if Dufferin Mall can have a kids Foot Locker and a Foot Locker, then the Eaton Centre definitely needed a kids Foot Locker and like a standalone kids Foot Locker store.
Totally. One of those things I'll tell you from insider information, real estate is sometimes the issue. Sometimes they can't have a space that is the right size or it's on the right floor. So sometimes you got to wait it out and sometimes you have to make another move. So anyways, Foot Locker Eaton Centre is now the way it should be. So I wanted to go back and touch on something. So you touched on that you had a Jordan 1 Christmas that you got at Christmas time. So I think this is one of those conversations that some people, either you're all the way in or maybe not, or you're totally like it just doesn't work for you. Like, do you like look at wearing certain shoes on certain days because it captures a day? Like, I know me personally, I have like literally a Rolodex. It's like, okay, so I have this shoe and I have to wear it on this day. So sure enough, I'm sure if he's looked at my Instagram, St. Patty Day Air Force One had to come out on St. Patrick's Day last week. So do you think of it the same way? Like, do you have a Valentine's Day shoe? Do you have, I know I have a Caravana shoe. I have like 3 or 4 different ones. So what about you?
I do have a couple of Air Max, well, no, I have a couple Air Max holiday themed. So I have the Easters
Okay,
and I have the Valentine's Day ones.
gotcha.
I have a couple of Christmas sneakers. So I have like an Air Max Christmas and then the Jordan 1 Christmas. I'm not, I mean, for Christmas, I will definitely, St. Patty's Day, I don't think I really had a green shoe, but I was also working from home. So it kind of felt like,
Yeah,
I lost track of what day of the year it was. And before I knew it, I was like, oh,
you missed it.
right. I missed it. Sometimes life just gets in the way and, before you know it, you're like, oh, right. Valentine's Day, I mean, listen, not my favorite day of the year.
Mhm.
I did a little post of all my pink and red and white sneakers that I have, and just to pay my homage to the day.
Yeah,
But I don't think I'm fully in. I think it just depends on the day and how I'm feeling, more or less.
yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, you got to do what you feel good about. And
Yeah.
hey, if you can remember the day, I think, as we're slowly starting to roll out of the lockdowns that we've had over the last couple of years, hopefully you're out more and about and you can remember to where it's like, I know I did it last year because we were open,
Right.
was autism day. So
Yep.
when you have the opportunity to wear like a mismatched shoe, like there's so many great ones. There's New Balance ones. There's a Jordan 1 women's, the UNC to Chicago one, that's the one that I wore last year.
Right.
But because I've spent so much time at home and I had a home meeting that day, it's like I saw the post and it's like 9 o'clock. Well, I'm not going to go outside to take a picture. I got bad
Yeah.
light in my house. So like that day was lost. It's like, I'll wear the shoe that I would have wore yesterday. I'll wear it today. So
Exactly.
it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
so as we wrap up, I know we're in March, we'll probably definitely get this episode out by the end of March. So International Women's Day was on the 8th. It's Women's History Month generally in the Americas, including Canada. I think we're kind of adopting it, though for us, it's technically in October, but how was Women's Month, man? What did you do? Anything in particular to celebrate Women's International Day?
Honestly, it's just been trying to, get more acquainted and just learn more about, the female contributors to the sneaker community, honestly, and just try to learn more about their contributions, how they've impacted and how they've been trying to propel the movement forward and trying to, get young women in the game.
Yeah. So is there any new ones that you've kind of come across as of late that maybe the listeners would be interested in hearing about?
Man, you mean like new
contributors that maybe you didn't know about before that now that you've come across?
So actually, recently I started following a woman on Instagram who started her own shoe brand. Tara Reiser is her name, and Reiser Footwear is her brand.
Yes, I've actually heard it. I literally was just talking about her today, and it's in an article that I read.
Yeah.
I think it's the Entrepreneur and kind of talking about the evolution of sneaker culture. Yeah, Reiser is the brand that she's got. So.
And she's in LA Fashion Week.
Wow.
Yeah, she has a show in LA Fashion Week, and which is incredible. And she had recently she had a campaign ad in London, and she shared a story about how when she was building her brand and trying to launch her company, going to the manufacturers, just taking the subway back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so to have her campaign in the Metro in London, she's like, this is kind of full circle for me. And I was like, congratulations, this is massive. This is huge. Like, I hope you are proud. And I said, you are an inspiration to a lot of women and young girls out there. Keep doing what you're doing.
Well, that's amazing that you were able to have that connection. So
Yeah, so I'm hoping she has a great show this week. And yeah, and she just takes off. I've been looking at her website trying to see, when she's going to have, releases, because I'm like, I would actually like to buy a pair of her shoes.
Yeah. Not only, yeah, just to, connect with others that are passionate about her brand. Like, she's
Yeah,
definitely caught your attention. So yeah, that would be really cool.
yeah, definitely.
So one last, I guess, topic to kind of wrap up. So not only is it Women's History Month slash International Women's Day on the 26th of March, it is Air Max Day and it is Air Max month. So I know a lot of sneakerheads I've seen, our good friend Hardy Girl has been rolling out Air Max shoes all month long. I know I got my Air Max 95 shirt, OG. That's literally my favorite Air Max of all the Air Max. But have you been wearing more Air Max this month than normally, or it's just
Honestly,
a smorgasbord of whatever you want to wear?
It's a whatever I want to wear. I mean, oddly enough, it is Air Max month, and I have not worn a whole lot of Air Maxes.
Yep.
Today I needed to run out after work, and I just threw on my Bacons.
Oh, I love those. I love those.
It's such a great shoe. I mean, it goes with anything and everything, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I have a pair of, I don't even know what they're called, but they're like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe them because they're just so cool and funky and different. All I can say is they have rope laces.
Okay.
And they have, looks like there's like a bit of bandana on the toe box. Anyhow, so I wore those, but I'm planning on wearing a pair tomorrow as well. So
okay. Yeah,
trying to round out the month.
Yeah, I kind of really focus on the OGs. So, Air Max 1 will come out. Infrared 90 will be out at some point. Got to squeeze in Silver Bullet this week. And, I've been wearing just so many other brands. I've actually been wearing all of my Yeezys as of late. I've been wearing a ton of New Balance. Like, I've been a Jordan head and a Nike head forever. So I've just enjoyed wearing everything I had. I've been wearing a few questions here and there, Reebok questions. So, I love so many different brands, but it's kind of like you miss this time every year that you should really be wearing Air Max. So I'm probably gonna really, condense it from a month to a couple days and make sure that I wear my favorites that I can just remember, because you got to wear those shoes, otherwise they fall apart. So that's true. That's something that I got to remember this month, and then make sure I get probably one more wear of this, probably that on Air Max Day, and then we'll have to decide on a couple other ones. So anyways, Karen, really appreciate you taking some time. I'm so glad we'll have to have you come back again, and we'll talk about something else and find some other great topics. But always a pleasure to connect with you and have you on the podcast. So, for those listeners, hit the subscribe button. Definitely give us a like, a thumbs up, put something in the comments. It's available wherever you find your podcast. But I think before we wrap up, Karen, can you just share again, how do we find you on Instagram? I think you have some amazing pictures, and it's like you've taken the pictures to a whole new level. Particularly, I saw the Wonder Woman one with the Reeboks. That was my
Reeboks.
I was like, whoa, Karen is taking it to another level. So tell us how we can find you on Instagram.
Yeah, I can be found at Kayinsnkrland. So it's KAYNSNKR land. So come find me and join me on my adventures through sneaker world.
Yeah. And they are some fun adventures. Like, I don't know if there's anyone having more fun talking and sharing and taking pictures with their sneakers than our good friend Karen here. So Karen, thanks again, much appreciated, and we'll definitely connect sooner rather than later.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye everyone.